discuss a bit about the use of Excel spreadsheets for data analysis. Now, good data organization is the foundation of any research or design project. Most researchers have data or do data entries in spreadsheets. And there's some really good spreadsheet programs with some really good graphical user interfaces that can help do this. For example, what we're going to use is Microsoft Excel. Okay, so we're going to talk about this week some best practices for implementing data table formatting, where we can identify common formatting mistakes, understand the approaches for handling dates in spreadsheets, and utilize some basic functions and so that we can do some simple plotting with our data. Now, overall, spreadsheets are good for data entry. So therefore, we often have a lot of data in spreadsheets, and much of your time as a researcher or engineer will be spent in this data wrangling stage. And it's often not the most fun, but it's necessary. So in this week, we're going to teach you about how to think about data organization and some best practices for effective data wrangling. Okay, so while we're only teaching some of the basics about basic functions and basic plotting and data analysis is really because working with spreadsheets require a lot of manual work. And for example, if you want to change a parameter or run an analysis with a new data set, you usually have to redo everything by hand. And I say usually because there are ways and means that you can get around this, but this is higher level work in your Excel spreadsheet and it can get a bit cumbersome. But it's often difficult to therefore track and reproduce statistics or plotting analysis done in your spreadsheets, and this is a big problem, especially if a client wants to make a sudden change to your design or you have something to do with research that needs to be changed. Okay, so let's just talk a bit about some of the problems with spreadsheets. And like I said, spreadsheets are good for data entry, but in reality, we tend to use spreadsheet programs for much more than just data entry. We use them to create data tables for publications and generate summary statistics and make figures. So generating tables for publications in spreadsheets is not optimal. And often when formatting a data table for publication, we're reporting key summary statistics in a way that is not really meant to be read as data and often involves special formatting. So merging cells, creating borders, basically making it look pretty. So I would advise that you do this type of operation with your document editing software, for example, Microsoft Word. Now, the last two applications that I've just been talking about is generating stats and figures should be used with caution. So because of the graphical drag and drop nature of spreadsheets like Microsoft Excel spreadsheet programs, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to replicate your steps, much less retrace anyone else's, particularly if your stats or figures require you to do some complex calculations. Furthermore, in doing the calculations in the spreadsheets, it's easy to accidentally apply a slightly different formula or formula to multiple adjacent cells. So when we enter formulas in Microsoft Excel, we use the function bar at the top. And now you can see that it is not really user-friendly for generating complicated functions. And this can lead to problems. But spreadsheets are not all doom and gloom. And there are some positives. So we might want to use a spreadsheet program to produce some what we call quick and dirty calculations for figures, data cleaning, and so on. Basically, when I talk about data cleaning, I'm talking about putting your data in a better format prior to when you import it so that you can do a proper statistical analysis or engineering design, and I will show you how to do that in the next couple of lessons.